out on the road. Bắt đầu với tiếng nước vỗ nhẹ vào thân thiên, tiếng côn trùng đến vào một giai điệu đi tác đâu lúc đu mà mình náo nề một nhịp trống chợt nặng như tiếng mai chiều đập xuống nước. The river breeze on the side beneath the low and heavy sky. It doesn't judge, it doesn't care, it just collects the poison air from cities burning far away. It washes all the sins away, or so they say, or so they hope, belonging unforgiving rope. My cradle was a shallow skiff upon this dark and timeless cliff of water, mud, and cypress trees. I learned the ancient litanies from the whispers of the wind and tide. The only place a man can hide. My father's father knew this place, his slow and his deliberate pace. The city kings of laws of stone upon their cold and distant throne. But down here where the water's deep, the river has its own laws to keep, and I'm the keeper. And I'm the keeper. This is the Blackwater gospel preached in fog of dialogue with the sleeping God. The only verse you need to know is the way the currents ebb and flow. The Blackwater gospel cold and deep for all the promises you couldn't keep. The river gives, the river takes for all your stupid damn mistakes, and I'm the one who collects the tide. The gangsters from the north all think they stand upon a solid brink. They see a river, just a road to lighten their illegal load. They don't see the shifting sand in this forgotten half-drowned land. They don't know the channel's false and true, the things this water does to you. It seeps inside your heart and soul and takes a deep and lasting hold. They bring their guns, they bring their pride, but the river has the final tide. I am the watcher on the bank, the highest and the lowest rank. They think that this is just a stage to turn a new and bloody page. They think that I'm just one more man. They do not know I am the plan. This is the Blackwater gospel preached in fog of dialogue with the sleeping God. The only verse you need to know is the way the currents ebb and flow. The Blackwater gospel cold and deep for all the promises you couldn't keep. The river gives, the river takes for all your stupid damn mistakes, and I'm the one who collects the tide. My family doesn't own this stream, that's just a foolish waking dream. You cannot own a thing so old, a story that cannot be told. You just can't serve it, pay its cost for every single soul that's lost within its dark and cold embrace. This unforgiving sacred place. We are the priests, we are the toll, we are the plea, we are the toll. The Blackwater waves, the gospel's clear. The ferryman is always here to take his due. To take his due. single lantern hung up high, a lonely star in a swampy sky. That is the sign, that is the law, to mend a deep and fatal flaw. In your own plans, in your own greed, the planting of a simple seed. You stop your boat, you kill the sound on this forbidden hollow ground. I come out from the mist and reach for all your dark and dirty deeds. I don't wear a crown, I don't wear a ring. I'm not a gangster or a king. I'm just a man who owns a knife beneath the pale and sickly light. You have a choice, you can pay and live to see another day, or you can try to run the past and make this breath your very last. This is the ferryman's toll, a simple price, you don't have to be asked here twice. A cut of every box and crate to seal your own and passing fate. The ferryman's toll, it's understood in this dark and misty neighborhood. I don't care if you're a saint or sin, the only game you'll ever win is the one where you just pay the man. The old timers, they know the game. They always whisper out my name with a deep respect, a quiet fear, the reason that they all are here. They leave the bottle, leave the cash, a quick and unassuming dash. They know my word is ironclad, the best damn friend they've ever had. I guard the channel, keep them clear of all the things the law holds dear. I am the balance, I'm the scale, the wind inside their tattered sails. I am the order in the dark, a single unforgiving spark. I am not your partner or your foe, I'm just the way the river flows, a force of nature rolling deep with promises I have to keep. This is the ferryman's toll, a simple price, you don't have to be asked here twice. A cut of every box and crate to seal your own and passing fate. The ferryman's toll, it's understood in this dark and misty neighborhood. I don't care if you're a saint or sin, the only game you'll ever win is the one where you just pay the man. Some have tried to test the rule, a brave and an ambitious fool. They think a gun can change the tide. They have nowhere left to run or hide. The river's deep, the mud is thick, a simple and a final trick. The river doesn't leave a trace of any man who leaves his place. The toll is paid, the lantern sways, the ending of these weary days until tomorrow. They got a river sleeping fast, a shadow from different paths, not of the swamp, but of the street, the bitter and the oh so sweet. Arrogance of men who are beneath the cold and northern sun. The boat is steel, the guns are new, a happy will so let the crew. Don't slow down, don't give way, you've come to start a brand new day. Pass my lantern, pass my light, and vanish in the coming night. A message sent, a challenge made, a stupid bloody serenade to their own power, their own pride, the turning of a final tide. My men already won the fight to make it center on the right. But I just hold a steady hand. They do not know this broken land. This is the Chicago Key, a different breed, the harvest of a poison seed. They think the river's just a road to lighten their illegal load. A Chicago keel, a blade of steel, the only thing they think is real. They've broken rule number one, and now the real fun has begun. They have offended the wrong God. I know the boat, I know the name, the players in the stupid game. A cable with too much to prove, a rash and unforgiving move. He thinks he's made a show of might in the dying hours of the night. He doesn't know the river's made in these hot and humid summer days. The channel shift, the sandbars move. He's got nothing left here to prove. He's running blind, he's running fast, a future that will never last. He is a guest in my own home, beneath this dark and starry dome. It's not a fiery blade, it's a slow and unforgiving maze. You let your enemy believe he has an ace up his own sleeve. This is the Chicago keel, a different breed, the harvest of a poison seed. They think the river's just a road to lighten their illegal load. A Chicago keel, a blade of steel, the only thing they think is real. They're broken rule number one, and now the real fun has begun. They have offended the wrong God. Let them have their little run, their moment in the absence of. Let them think that they are free, that they have gotten past me. The river has 1,000 hands in these forgotten half-drowned lands, and every single one is mine, a dark and beautiful design. The keel cuts deep, the engine sings, the chaos that tomorrow brings is all on him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here is a place. Oh, the horizontal dark and deep, where all the rivers cease. The cypress leaves rise from the murk, where all the darkest monsters lurk. It's called a widow's pass, you see, a place of grim topography, a shortcut if you know the way to shave off half a goddamn day. A graveyard if you get it wrong, where sirens sing a final song. I send a whisper on the wire to fuel a young man's dumb desire to impress his boss, to make his mark, a single unforgiving spark. The ferryman's a washed up joke, the final bitter word's been spoken. I give him the map, I give him the key to a victory he'll never see. He thinks I'm helping him to win, I'm just salving his own sin. This is the cypress leaves prayer, a final plea, a twisted sword of loyalty. You pray you'll make it through the night beneath the pale and strange moonlight. The cypress leaves prayer, a whispered thread, the biggest and the final bed. The river doesn't want your soul, it just wants to retain control. He takes a bait, he takes a route, he doesn't have a single doubt. His engine screams, he's going fast, a shadow that was built to last. About another half a mile, he wears a confident, smug smile. He doesn't see the water change, the subtle, slow rearrangement. The tide is turning, pulling out. He's in the serpent's very mouth. The first scrape sounds a shriek of steel. The first thing that he's felt that's real. The cypress knees like jagged teeth from right above and from beneath. He's trapped, he's caught, the river's won. His short and celebrated run is over now. The water's cold, a story that is getting old. This is the cypress knees prayer, a final plea, a twisted sword of loyalty. You pray you'll make it through the night beneath the pale and strange moonlight. The cypress knees prayer, a whispered thread, the biggest and the final bed. The river doesn't want your soul, it just wants to retain control. I find the boat the morning after, to the sound of distant mocking laughter from the birds that win the goddamn sun. The lessons taught, the battles won. The cargo's gone, the crew is dead. For all the foolish words he said, this wasn't a fight, this was a class in what will come and what will pass. The river keeps what it is owed to lighten its own heavy load. The cypress knees, they always pray for the fools who come and go this way. The city bosses start to sweat. They haven't seen their payment yet. Their finest crew, their brand new boat, or somewhere that is too remote to send a wild mate a call. They're waiting for the shoe to fall. They think I fought and think I bled. They think I left their whole crew dead. They're gathering their guns and men to come and strike me down again. They do not know I play it slow. I let the seeds of panic grow. I am the silence and the doubt, the thing they cannot live without. They're planning for a war of might, of who can win or stand or fight. They are not ready for the war. I'm knocking on their office door. I send a message in a barrel, a final unforgiving carol that flows right up to their own dock, a slow and unrelenting knock. A message in a barrel, stark and clear, the source of all their rising fear. It isn't a threat, it's not a plea, it's a piece of their own history. Come back to haunt them in the day. They pull it from the water's grind, a relic from a different time, an empty barrel of their own that they had thought was lost and gone. Inside nobody blood or bone, just something that is carved in stone. The name of every man on board, the final and the sharpest sword, and one word written underneath, from in between my clenched teeth. The river's thirsty, that is all, to chronicle their coming fall. The threat is not that I'm a ghost, it's that the thing they fear the most is the river. I send a message in a bell, a final unforgiving carol. It flows right up to their own dock, a slow and unrelenting knock. A message in a barrel, stark and clear, the source of all their rising fear. It isn't a threat, it's not a plea, it's a piece of their own history. Come back to haunt them in the day. Now they will look this dark stream and see a terrifying dream. They won't see a highway or a path, they'll see a slow and rising wrath. They won't fear me, the simple man, they'll fear the river's bigger plan. And that's a war they'll never win, the place the real rock must begin. The message sent, the fear is sown upon this cold and watery throne. They know my name now. fly on whiskey breath of a watery and a silent death. They say the river has a soul that takes a deep and lasting hold. They say I speak the ancient tongue for all the old and all the young who live and die by its decree. They made a goddamn god of me. They send their envoys, pale and fast, a shadow from their own dark past. They offer deals, they offer gold, a story that is getting old. They offer peace, they offer trade for the stupid bloody mess they made. I meet them on the muddy bank, the highest and the lowest ranking. They see a man in simple clothes. They do not see the thing that grows behind my eyes. I am the king of the backwaters, of the sons and of the daughters, of the mud, the cypress and the reeds, the harvest of the oldest sea. The king of the backwaters, I am the toll, the keeper of the river soul. Your city rules are black and white, mean nothing in this pale moonlight, and your money's worthless here. They speak of terror, Tory lines, of new and more complex designs. They try to map my winding stream with all their foolish waking dreams. They do not get this place is mine, not by a deed or a bloodline, but by the knowledge in my bones of the shifting sands and sinking stones. I know the fog, I know the rain, the subtle language of the pain this river brings to foolish men who try to tame it time and again. I am not a king who rules with might. I rule by knowing dark from light. I listen to their plans and smile. After a long and quiet while, I tell them the river has agreed to the planting of a brand new seed, their seed. I am the king of the backwaters, of the sons and of the daughters, of the mud, the cypress and the reeds, the harvest of the oldest seeds. The king of the backwaters, I am the toll, the keeper of the river soul. Your city rules are black and white, mean nothing in this pale moonlight, and your money's worthless here. My kingdom isn't on a map, it is a beautiful and deadly trap. It's not a place you come to own upon some cold and watery throne. It is a thing you have to serve with a steady hand and a strong nerve. They think they're dealing with a man, they do not know I am the plan, the river's plan. I take their tribute, I let them pass through the tall and unforgiving grass for now. Up on the cabin wall to answer to the final call. A shotgun holding double barrel, a world of violence tightly walled, and walnut stock and blue steel. The only thing I know that's real in a world of whispers missing lies beneath my cold and weary eyes. Upon a dark and brutal whim, I use my mind, I use my guile, my crooked and my patient smile. But they're coming, they won't stop until the final hammer drop. But now I'm taking my father's gun, the long and lonely race is run. The time for whispers and for doubt has finally completely run out. I'm taking my father's gun, a final choice to give my anger a real voice. They didn't listen to the stream, so they'll wake up from their waking dream with the taste of gunpowder and fear. The oil is fresh, the action's clean. The most effective killing machine. It feels so heavy in my hand. The true allegiance of this land. It's not to a flag, it's not to a god, but to this piece of black and sod that my own family is bled for the settling of an ancient score. The new dawn from the north it comes to the beating of his city drum. He thinks he'll meet a simple man with a simple and a foolish plan. He doesn't know meet the son of the last one that was never one. He'll meet the ghost of my own kin, the place the real war must begin. But I'm taking my father's gun, the long and lonely race is run. The time for whispers and for doubt has finally and completely run out. I'm taking my father's gun, a final choice to give my anger a real voice. They didn't listen to the stream, so they wake up up from the waking dream with the taste of gunpowder and fear. I am my father's son, you see. His anger lives inside of me. I try to bury it, let it sleep in waters that were dark and deep, but they have stirred the sleeping beast. The honored guest at this last feast. The river's slow, but blood is fast. The shadow that is built to last. My father's gone. My father's land. The final losing winning hand. I am ready.
The plans are written down in chalk. They're sending down their biggest gun. They're only and their favorite son, the dawn himself, to make it right. On this dark and unforgiving night, he's coming to my home, my land, with his own life and his own name. He brings them in, he brings them in, beneath the pale and sickly light. He thinks he'll burn my cabin down, the king of this half-drowned out town. He thinks he'll take the wind and rain. He doesn't know the coming pain. He's watching the horizon for my bow, the single solitary note of my surrender. But he's looking wrong. He hasn't listened to the song of the river. This is the flood, the final war, the settling of an ancient score. The river's claiming back its own upon his cold and watery throne. The flood is here, you cannot run beneath the cold and absent sun. This is not my wrath, you see. This is the river's own decree, and it has judged you all as wanting. The levees break, a whisper first, a long and unforgiving thirst. I didn't break them with my hand. The future of this broken land was written in the storm before I just unlocked the final door. The water rises slow and deep while all the city gangsters sleep.
The slow and steady march of time is measured in the rising tide. They have nowhere left to run or hide. They are the strangers in this place, a different species, different race. And the river does not suffer fools. It has its own and ancient rules, and they have broken everyone. The flood has come, the flood has passed. The die has been completely cast. The river's calm now, and it is fast. The water's gone, the land is bare. A cold and unforgiving air. The city's beaten, broken law. It's such a high profile. They found his body in the reed, among the unforgiving, bitter weed. The river took him, so they'll say, at the ending of a weary day. He wasn't shot, he wasn't stabbed. His life was simply, slowly sad, by the cold and by the rising fear. The end is getting very near. For all his men, for all his might, in the pale and unforgiving light, I did not have to fire a shot. The final unforgiving spot was low. The city falling all know the way the seeds of terror grow. It's not the man, it's not the gun. It's a long and lonely race you run against nature. Against nature. Oh, oh, oh. I sit upon a throne of mud, a slow and unrelenting flood of power, fear, and quiet dread among the living and the dead. A throne of mud, a heavy crown, the king of this half drowned out town. I am the ferryman, the priest, the coming of the savage beast, and the beast is them. The beast is me. The survivors of the Chicago crew, the loyal and the trusted few, they come to me with empty eyes, with no more comfort in their lives. They do not beg, they do not plead, they planned a different, quieter seed of servitude, of fealty. the source of all their bitter pain. They know the river has a king, and the chaos that the currents bring. I sit upon a throne of mud, a slow and unrelenting flood of power, fear, and quiet dread among the living and the dead. A throne of mud, a heavy crown, the king of this half-drowned-out town. Oh, I am the ferryman, the priest, the coming of the savage beast, and the beast is them. The beast is me. I did not ask for this control, to be the keeper of their soul. I just wanted to be left alone, upon my quiet warrior throne. But they have come, they made a war, and kicked right down my cabin door. And they have woken up the thing that makes a silent river sing. A song of death, a song of dread. Now I must rule them all instead. The throne is cold, the mud is deep, for all the promises to keep. I am the king now, God help them all. God help them all. The years go by, the peace is kept, for all the silent tears I wept. I rule the river, rule the trade. The final promise has been made, and kept and sealed in mud and bone. I sit upon this lonely throne. I am a legend, I'm a gold, the one that they all feel the most. The city gangsters pay their tithe, it's how their businesses survive. They never cross the waterline. This dark and twisted world is mine. But in the silence of the night, beneath the pale and sickly light, I see the man I might have been, a different and a clean scene. This kingdom is a gilded cage, the final actor on a stage. The river's calm, but in my soul a storm is taking its slow toll. This is the last ferry of the night, a slow and unrelenting flight from the man I am to the man I'll be, for all of them eternity. The last ferry, a final call before the final hammer fall. The river's calm, but I am not. The only thing that I have got is this long ride into the dark unknown. I see my father's loaded gun, the long and lonely race is run. It hangs there silent on the wall. It saw the rise of saw the fall. I take it down, I feel its weight, the heavy hand of my own fate. I did not use it, not back then. Among the ranks of broken men, I used the river, used my guile, my crooked and my patient smile. But the man I am, the king I made, is just a different kind of blade, a colder and a sharper thing. The chaos that the currents bring, I become the river's cold decree. This is the last ferry of the night, a slow and unrelenting flight from the man I am to the man I'll be. For all of damn eternity, the last ferry, a final call before the final hammer fall. The river's calm, but I am not. The only thing that I have got is this long ride into the dark unknown. I take my skiff out on the stream, a final solitary dream, to find a place where I can be just a man and finally free. But the river owes me, I'm its son. My work is never truly done, as long as men bring greed and lies beneath these dark and heavy skies. The ferryman can never rest. The last ferry leaves the shore. I don't know what I'm looking for, just a quiet place to be. The river and the gun and me. Peace is profitable coal, a story that is getting old. I sit and watch the herons fly beneath the still and empty sky. A boat comes up the river slow, the only place it has to go. It's not a gangster, not a thief, but a figure of a noble life. A woman dressed in city black, there's no more use in turning back. She has the face of the dead dawn, the battle that was never won. His daughter come to see the man who ruined her entire plan of a life of wealth, a life of grace, in this God-forsaken empty place. She isn't here to fight or bleed, she's come to plant a different seed. She doesn't carry guns or knives, the deadliest of all the lives is memory. She is a daughter's ghost, a final plea, a piece of broken history. She's come to haunt the man who won beneath the pale and watery sun. A daughter's ghost with eyes of steel, the only thing that's truly real. She doesn't want my blood or bone, she wants to take me from my throne with a weapon I cannot defeat. She steps onto my muddy shore, Seen 100 like it before, but never one so grim and gray. She has a single thing to say: I do not blame you for his death. She says with whiskey on her breath, my father was a dying breed, the harvest of a poison seed. He would have fallen sooner or late, a victim of his own damn fate. But you, she says, her voice is low, you didn't let my brothers go. They were just boys, they were just fools who broke your ancient river rules. And for that I can't let you be the only thing that sets me free. She's not here for the family name or to restart a bloody game. She's here for something sharp and deep, a promise that her soul must keep. She is a daughter's ghost, a final plea, a piece of broken history. She's come to haunt the man who won beneath the pale and watery sun. A daughter's ghost with eyes of steel, the only thing that's truly real. She doesn't want my blood or bone. She wants to take me from my throne with a weapon I cannot defeat. I will not fight you, she says clear. I'll take away what you hold dear. Not your life, not your land, a thing you'll never understand. I'll take the myth, the ghost, the king, the chaos that the currents bring. I'll tell the world the simple truth, the bitter anger of my youth is that you are just a man. The daughter leaves, the thread is made, the sharpest and the final blade is the truth.
She goes to papers in the town, the jesters and the weary clowns, who write the stories, print the lies beneath the cold and watchful eyes. Of businessmen and city road, she tells a story to them all, not of a ghost, not of a god, on this forgotten bloody sod. But of a man of tricks and traps, of well-designed and clever maps, of levies weak and just enough, of all my cold and brutal stuff. She doesn't paint me as a beast, the honored guest at death's own feast. She paints me as a schemer sly who built a perfect alibi. The magic starts to fade away. At the dawning of his brand new day, the fear is turning to contempt. The first time that they've ever dreamt of a river that is just a stream
to ask their questions now. The breaking of a silent vow. The gangsters who would pay their tithe, the way their businesses survive. They start to wonder if the price is worth it to be asked just twice. If I'm just a man, then I can bleed the planting of a dangerous seed. My power wasn't in the gun, but in the long and lonely run. Amid that room of faith and fear, the end is getting very near. She's killing me without a blade, the smartest war ever been played. She's unraveling thread by thread of all the words a river said. The legend starts to come apart, the beating of a broken heart. Unraveling a quiet war for the thing we're fighting and dying for. My reputation and my name, the dying embers of the flame. I could ever killed a single call, watch another body fall, but that will prove that she is right in the pale and unforgiving light. That I am just another thug, the kind you find beneath the rug. To fight her is to lose the game, to ever whisper out her name. So I must sit and watch it burn, the final lesson I must learn. The thread is pulled, the weave is torn, a different kind of king is born, a mortal one. Listen good. Listen good.
The first boat comes, they do not stop. They let the final anchor drop. Right past my land, past my shore. They do not fear me anymore. A cruel young boy, full of pride, with nowhere left for them to hide. If I should choose to make them pay, but I just let them slip away. My men are watching from the reeds for all my dark and violent deeds. To be reborn, to take a stand, the ruler of this broken land. But I just sit there on the stone and leave the damn thing all alone. The king is gone, the god is dead. From all the simple words she said, my power was a waking dream, a reflection on passing stream. She did not take my life, you see. She just gave me back to me. I am just a man on the bank again, among the rain of broken men, watching the river rolling by beneath a cold and empty sky. A man on the bank
My men come to me one by one, their long and loyal service done. They ask me what the plan will be for all of damn eternity. I tell them there's no plan at all, just the writing on a crumbling wall. The river's free, the toll is gone. It's time for you to move along. Some are angry, some are sad, for the only family they've had. But they all leave, they fade away at the ending of this weary day, till I am left with just the sound of the water on the muddy ground. I am just a man on the bank again, among the ranks of broken men, watching the river rolling by beneath the cold and empty sky. A man on the bank with a heavy cost for everything I've won and lost. The ferryman is out of trade for the awful lonely world he's made. Was it a prison? Was it a throne? This lonely life I've always known. Was I the keeper or the care for all the silent tears I've wept? I don't have answers, I don't know which way the currents ebb and flow. I am not a king, I'm not a ghost. The one that I have feared the most is just a man on the bank. The sun is low, the only place I have to go is with the tide. New crew comes, the city pride, the turning of a this tide. They heard the ferryman is gone, they come to greet a brand new dawn. They laugh and drink, they make their claim. They do not even know my name. They dump their poison in the stream, a fever pitched in a way you can dream. Of disrespect, of broken temper, the first time they ever remember, of a river that is just a tool for knowing more ambitious school. They are the future, I'm the past, a shadow that was built to last, but built to fade. I watch them from the cypress shade, the promises my father made to this old river, deep and wide. The
turning of a final tide.
The river's dead must be repaid for every single masquerade. It doesn't care for kings or men, it always comes to collect again. The river's dead, a final call for every single soul that's lost. I may be just a man, it's true, but I know what I have to do.
I take my father's gun in hand, the last true promise of this land. I take my skiff out on the black, there's no more use in turning back. This is not for a throne or might, in the pale and unforgiving light. It's not for power or for feet, it's for this dark and wild country. They broke the law, not mine but hers, the ancient verse that always stirs in the deep mud, in the slow bend. This is a thing that has to end. The ferryman may be alive, but the river cannot ever die. I am the priest, I am the sun, my final lonely race is run. Not for a crown, not for a name, but for the keeping of the flame.
The river's dead must be repaid for every single masquerade. It doesn't care for kings or men, it always comes to collect again. The river's dead, a final call for every single soul that's lost. I may be just a man, it's true, but I know what I have to do. I am the hand, the river's the will. Upon this dark and silent hill,
Water, this is not my war, the thing worth fighting and dying for.
it is the promise of the flood, written in my own damn blood. The final toll, the final prize. You don't offend the same God twice. The river's dead, a shotgun's cry beneath a black and empty sky. Paid in full.
There found my skiff adrifting bare in the cold and humid morning air. They find the bodies quiet and still upon this cold and watery hill. The papers call it a gang war, the selling of an ancient score. They say the ferryman is dead, for all the bitter words unsaid. He died defending his own land, with his father's shotgun in his hand. The legend that she tried to kill, upon this dark and silent hill, is born again. But purer now, silent and a sacred vow. He wasn't a gangster or a king, he was a wild and holy daughter. And know the way a final chapter goes. She didn't win, I didn't lose. The only life we get to choose. This is the ferryman way, a song sung low for the only true we'll ever know. He wasn't a god, he was a man. The river's quiet now and deep. It has no secrets it will keep. A new respect is in the air, a final unforgiving prayer. They pay their tribute to the stream, a fever pitch and waking dream. They pay their toll not to a ghost, the one that they all fear the most, but to the water, dark and wide, the turning of a final tide of balance has been paid in blood. A slow and unrelenting flood of myth and memory and of grace. For this unforgiving sacred place, this is a ferryman. This is a ferryman way, a song sung low for the only true we'll ever know. He wasn't a god, he was a man with a final unforgiving plan. The ferryman's wake, a whispered prayer, a poison on the delta air that keeps the city men at bay at the ending of a weary day. My name is whispered on the bank, the highest and the lowest rank. Not as a king, not as a threat, the biggest and the final bet, but as the keeper of the code, to lighten its own heavy load. The man who served the river soul, and finally became completely whole in death.